Hi, Internet. How are you doing today? Truly, 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 how are you doing today? From me to you, I want to sit here and be with you while you ask yourself, how are you doing? I haven't posted a video in about a week because I think right now these videos are just me talking and saying hi. And I feel like I usually pick a topic that has been happening in my life or something that's been happening in my life that I want to talk about or emphasize on, or I feel like I want to give from me to you. Um, but I think I've honestly been in a little bit of a rut. I feel like Mercury retrograde has the after effect of that has been really hitting me. I know my bathroom is open right now. The bathroom door. One of my friends commented about that. Sorry, she's open today. But I think I want to just say that, like, if you're not okay, that's okay. I think sometimes we need to give ourselves that space. And I want to say that to myself. Because life is hard. Life is lifing. I mean, the statistics of a recession happening, the energy of our American government is truly heartbreaking and gruesomely horrifying, to say the least. It's also such an L because my link card didn't come in today. So that sucks. And I think it's just really made it be a shitty fucking day. I think too, it's like, I was really relying on that. I had a plan. I was situating myself up beforehand because I thought that was going to come in and it didn't. And it's just really scary. I'm a single person. I don't have any dependents, and how devastating that was to me. I can't imagine somebody in the position of having people dependent on that. Somebody with children, somebody with multiple mouths to feed, like, thinking about them being in my position above the disappointment that I experienced is just heartbreaking. And it's scary, the threat of those resources being taken away. I can't even believe that in 2025, where we are in existence, that something like this is happening. And it's really scary. And I think we're not really, if somebody doesn't understand what I'm even talking about, it's sad that those folks aren't even meeting these issues with curiosity. Because, I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive to live. And we really are in a world where we only think about ourselves. I mean, I've talked about how individualistic people are today. And I think, too, we really look at something and compare it to ourselves, even in the way that we talk. We want to say, oh, I've been through that. Oh, I've experienced that. When it's like, let's give people their space. Let's give people their time to talk about what they've been through. Even if you've been through something similar, like, cool, like, what's next? Like, I think too, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure in our own way, people have experienced similar situations, right? Like, that's kind of a no-brainer. And I think if we even let ourselves be vulnerable, we would see that. But I think also there's no empathy. There's no curiosity. We really, those skill sets of critical thinking and adding to a conversation, instead of comparing it to ourselves, like, it's tough. Even thinking about the way that I conversate sometimes, I can reflect and see that upon myself as, needing to bring more curiosity. But there are also times where I think I'm bring a lot of curiosity to situations. So, I think wrapping that back to really what I was just starting off of like, I think it's so okay if you're not okay right now. I mean, of course it's not, but like I'm saying, let yourself feel that, like give yourself that. I think too, when I've felt those moments, I'm like, well, are you going to sit here and bitch about it, or are you going to do something? And, I think you give yourself time to bitch about it, but then get up and do something, And that's hard. Way easier said than done. I think sometimes sitting with it can take days or even weeks, and to everybody's what they need. That's going to look different for everyone, and I don't think we should judge somebody for their needs, and if you can't meet them, like, it is what it is, I don't think you can necessarily hold somebody to that, but also it's like, take care of yourself. Like, if somebody can't meet you where they're at, take care of you, then those people aren't your priority, and that's okay. Things are ebbs and flows, nothing is absolute. And I think even this introspection and the language that I'm using right now is very broad, right? Because actually when we look at the world, what's happening, it's not fucking okay. It's not okay at all. But I think within ourselves, how do we emotionally and mentally take care of ourselves and give ourselves that time to grieve whatever we're going through, So I just want to give you that validation, but also like have boundaries with yourself. Like tell yourself, I'm going to give myself this time, but that I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to give myself time to mope, but I know I'm going to do my dishes tonight. We really don't have to, it's not all or nothing, the little things matter. And I think right now too, that's just the way that I ground myself. And I understand, I'm a person of privilege and opportunity. I'm a white woman saying this to whoever's watching this, like what, maybe I have access to, even mentally, is different than folks that experience systemic oppression. And I just want to throw that in there because I don't want to say I don't want to become from an absolute place, and I want to acknowledge the place that I'm coming from. But overall, we have to take care of ourselves, but we also have to really be there for our community and invest in our community, because that's what's going to build resilience to the topic of what I was talking about earlier, not being okay, to have a community to fall back on, to create people in your environment to support you, even if that's just a phone call, really highlighting those interactions, building a relationship with the person who makes your coffee when you go get a coffee or something, or, building a banter with the people around you, I think will go so far. And, I think too, when I did my video about individualistic, how we're very individualistic generation, and that we really bring it back to ourselves. Like, I think, also maybe being conscious about that mind frame. And that we need to practice the way that we rewire our brain, and this comment that the person made on that video was talking about how it's like, how can I feel gratitude for somebody and that's successful, where it's like, when success is tied to screwing people over, what did they have to do to get there? And I think that's reflective of that person's mindset, but it is parts of it are true. I think there is that criticism. I'm sorry guys, I need water. Sorry, guys. I'm not editing it out. I'm not editing it out. I'm sorry. But I think what I was saying before I choked on my own breath is that we haven't practiced gratitude because we're in a state of constant comparison. We're always on, constantly on because of this. And how can you think about other people when constantly you're comparing yourself to what's out there, when this isn't real life. And I think too, it's like, even looking at my analytics of my videos, I'm 24. I'm like literally talking to like 25 and up. Like 25 to 44 is the age range of people. Like younger folks, I think, really this rehabilitative language, the self-exploration. I don't know if that's something that's really pressing for younger folks, because I think we're just so consumed with a fabricated world. And that's really sad. And so that's why I'm saying it's okay not to be okay. You have every right to not be okay. And I think when we're in such a workaholic culture as well, you're not doing enough, you're not okay because you're not doing enough. That's baloney. I gotta wrap this up because my doggy is gonna start barking because he needs to go potty. But overall, I just want to give you that space. I just want to give you that validation to let you know that it's okay not being okay, and that there are little things that you can do for yourself mentally, and that to really stimulate the positive thoughts, positive habits. Those mini conversations matter with the people around you that you're interacting with, maybe on a day-to-day basis. Push yourself to say hi. Talk to your neighbor. Talk to your neighbor. Come on, say hi. How are you? And that's my video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took time for yourself. And until next time.